Don't fail your home inspection. Buyers are getting really picky right now. The market's doing weird stuff. We want to have a clean home inspection if we're going to get top dollar on your property. And if you don't want to do any of these things, that's free will, but understand your buyers will want a significant discount and your house more than likely will be on the market for longer than you expect. So, market's changing, buyers are getting fussier, they're demanding a lot more, and they can. So let's get into these home inspection items, and I'm going to talk as fast as I can because we have a lot to cover. And I know we all have important things to do today. All right, let's get into it. Buyers are expecting the major components of a home to be functioning properly. So a roof, for example, better not be leaking. It better not be 400 years old. And in Florida and some other states, like they have to have a perfect roof or the insurance company won't cover them. In my opinion, it's always a good idea if you're selling your home to get a roof inspection. They can give you a clearance that the house is in good condition. They can give the average age of the roof to give your buyers some comfort before they even make that offer. Okay, I'm hustling. Your HVAC systems should be working properly. So when a home inspector comes to the house, they're going to get their temperature gun and make sure it's spitting out the right cool and the right heat when they turn those systems on. More than likely, a lot of you have these older systems that you think are just going to limp along and, oh yeah, the new buyer can replace it. Your new buyer doesn't want to replace that. We do have different regulations with what kind of Freon we can use for our air conditioning units. Go check it out online. So your home inspector is going to be telling your buyer about the older model versus the newer model. So if you want to get ahead of this and provide a good house and make it go quickly off the market, I would highly suggest that you get an HVAC system to come out, service the unit, deem it in perfect condition, make sure the cooling and the heating is working properly so that you hand over a very well-serviced HVAC system. And more than likely, some of you will probably have to replace some of their units if it's not functioning properly. Just my opinion. And some of you may find out that your beloved HVAC system ain't healthy. And I highly suggest that you replace it. Once again, refurbished model, something that's used, or a newer model, because your buyers are caring about that more now than ever. Another big ticket item are those windows. A lot of you have balances that are uneven. A lot of you have compromised seals and it's a little foggy. And some of you are like, oh, that's in the back bedrooms. We don't notice it. We'll just put the blind down. No one cares. Your buyer cares. Your buyer cares about the windows. Now, a lot of you, in my opinion, should be getting a window expert out and adjusting some of the windows. And a lot of these windows can just have the glass replaced. It's not a big deal. But if that home inspector calls out 10, 20 windows, guess what? It's like ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Your buyer's not going to be happy with that. And more than likely, they're going to ask for a huge credit or a huge reduction off the price of your home. I know, I hate it, but this is the market we're in right now. There's been a lot of homes that have sewer line issues. So a lot of these home inspectors are now recommending that most of the buyers perform a sewer line inspection. So be prepared for it. If your house is older or if you have big trees and roots and issues that you kind of know about, it might make sense for you to perform your own sewer line inspection. It's always a good housekeeping thing to do anyway. Sometimes stuff down the sink and the oils build up, and it's always good to have peace of mind knowing that the sewer line is clean. Your buyers more than likely will pay attention to it, and it's just not one of those things you want to find out down the road. We had one house that had a $20,000 sewer line issue, had to be remedied. Better to know that before putting your house on the market. Buyers are caring about your piping. I can't tell you how many buyers come into my open houses or my private showing, and the first question out of their mouth is, has the house been repiped? So understand, these big, expensive, inconvenient fixes are things that buyers are very concerned about right now. So back in the day, a lot of the builders in my area bought that thin copper piping, and we have a high mineral count where I live. The high minerals calcify at the elbow joint. We are on expansive soil. Any type of movement or earthquake, we get pinhole leaks, and it becomes a major nightmare. To the point where some houses have flooded, the insurance goes up because it's a major remedy. So of course, buyers, especially in my area, are very concerned about the plumbing issues in the house. So if you are a seller and have had multiple pinhole leaks, understand your buyer is going to expect a repipe or credit for a repipe. And by the way, more than likely, you put some of this through your insurance and they're not going to love that either. So more than likely, you're going to have to come down on your price or get a repipe done. I'm suggesting a lot of my homeowners to get a repipe done ahead of time, only because I know it's going to be an issue, especially if it's an area that's notorious for pinhole leaks. So you understand your house better than I do in your area and what occurrences happen, but the repipe is a big deal right now. In fact, I didn't get my house repiped and I'm regretting it because every day I wake up, I'm like, oh crap. Fun little fact. Sometimes you can tell if there's a slab leak ahead of time because the floors get really warm. My dog sometimes lays in the sun or lays, on the floor and warms it up. And then I'm literally walking by and I'm like, whoa, it's warm here. And I immediately pull out my moisture meter. This is an awesome tool. I love this thing. You put it on the ground or you put it on the wall and it will detect any moisture. So for those of you who are feeling a little nervous about your floors or your piping, always a good idea to get a moisture reader so you can sleep better at night. Okay, a lot of you are not looking under your sinks and you'd be surprised at how much moisture is under your sinks. Go look at all those bathrooms and take this little guy with you. I'll link this down in the description. I got mine on Amazon. Let's see if this thing works. So here's my water bottle. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So it's showing 57%. Okay, and I'm just putting this little guy on here. So check your sinks. Grab this little guy, put it against the wall because your home inspector will do the same. You can also look in the laundry room, especially look around that dishwasher. For some reason, there's always some type of moisture coming off of it. Sometimes there's a link behind the dishwasher. Your home inspector will find it. Better to fix it before it becomes an issue. And if it's an active leak, there could be mold. Now, don't freak about mold. I mean, some of it's just like household stuff. It's easy to fix. And what you have to realize about mold, it only grows if it has food. So as soon as the water or whatever's feeding it is knocked off, the mold instantly dies. So better to get ahead of these things before your home inspector finds it. Buy one of these. It'll help you detect where those areas are. I keep this bag of tricks in the back of my car no matter where I go because you never know when I might need it. Okay, so this is the one I'm looking for. This is a water pressure gauge. So what you do is you put this on your hose bib, turn the water on, and it will give you a reading as to what PSI level your water pressure is. So you should be between 60 and 70 PSI. And yes, your home inspector will be using something like this to test the water pressure. So if your water pressure is too high, turn down your water pressure regulator. If your water is too low, turn the water pressure regulator up. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, check it out. Some of you don't have water pressure regulators, which control the pressure into the house. So if you have a low reading, meaning a low water pressure from the street into the house, there's very little you can do. However, if the water pressure is too high, you can always put a water pressure regulator, get a certified plumber out there to help you with applying it and making sure your water pressure is the right PSI levels. Once again, 60 to 70 PSI. Okay, what else do I have in here? Okay, this is one of my faves this year. This is called the Fluke. I love this thing. This has been coming up on a lot of home inspections where your circuit breaker board isn't labeled properly. And a lot of it's just faded or you never had it labeled to begin with. So what you do is you plug this little outlet into the wall and you run out to your circuit breaker board and you run this little guy down the circuit breaker board and it will turn green when you hit the right circuit breaker. I love this tool. The other little handy thing about this is if you don't know if your outlets work, you just go around and you put this into each one of your outlet and it will let you know if you have a healthy outlet or not. If you get no juice, you know you have a dead outlet. Good idea to get an electrician out there to fix it because, of course, your home inspector will find it. Quick intermission. Please subscribe to my channel. Smash that like button. It's free. I'm trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. And I'm getting there very, very slowly. Help a girl out. Smash the like button. Subscribe to my channel. Let's get back into it. Just a few other little tricks that I have in my bag. Let's see here. Okay, this is a black light. So this actually came up on a home inspection where the home inspector was saying, oh, this is mold. Yeah, I think it's mold down there. They're not allowed to use mold, by the way. They kind of hint to it, but home inspectors are never allowed to use the word mold. And I looked at it and I kind of, sensed a weird smell. And lo and behold, I pull out my black little flashlight and it was cat urine. Huh? So if you are working with a buyer, you agents out there or homeowners, always good to buy one of these little guys. And, I have a little dog. She's the sweetest thing ever. And I catch her doing naughty things with this thing as well. So if you have any issues with your carpet or whatever, your home inspector typically doesn't pull one of these little guys out. But if you're noticing some areas and you're not sure what it is, might be a good idea if you have pets to run this by there. Also, for those of you who are living in homes that have pets, you're not aware of the urine and the smells and whatnot, but this flashlight doesn't lie. So go take this around your house. You'd be amazed. And my little dog, has been very naughty lately. I know, but it doesn't matter what she does. I love her so much. All right, let's get back into it. Smoke detectors and CO detectors need to be installed before you put your house on the market. That's my rule with my clients. And the key here is you need to have the date of installation written on the detector. If you don't, the home inspector will say,
"I don't know how old these are. You got to replace them all."
You need to have a smoke detector in each one of the bedrooms and in each one of the hallways. You can go Google it. What's the code in your area? More than likely, your home inspector will give you some guidance, or your agent will give you guidance in your area. But get those things in your house ASAP. Because if you have an appraiser that comes to the house and those aren't in place, they will have to come back and will not complete their report unless those CO and smoke detectors are installed. That's the exact same thing with that water heater. So in California, we have earthquakes and all these other things, but you need to have your water heater properly strapped. So go look up the code. A lot's changed. There's supposed to be a sediment trap. That's a recommendation. And there also should be a pan underneath your water heater. Sometimes these water heaters are older and they're grandfathered in, but be aware your buyer might be like, I don't know if it's old. I kind of want it replaced. So if your water heater is on the brink, just know they might ask for a replacement. So a lot of you are like, I don't have a water heater that I have to strap because I'm fancy pants and I got my own tankless water heater. I get in trouble when I say this, but I hate tankless water heaters for 2 reasons. First reason is the water's never warm enough, and I know I have to do all the stuff and get a circulation, but I don't want to do that, okay? Second reason is because you have to maintain it consistently. You have to descale it. And if you have a tankless water heater and you don't know what I just said, you're in deep poo-poo, because your tankless water heater should be descaled on an annual basis. It's costly, it's inconvenient, and by the way, when your sellers go to buy your home, they're going to ask when the last time you descaled your tankless water heater. And if you haven't done it in a while, it can cause a lot of problems with your tankless water heater. I never, and I mean ever, drink carbonated drinks, but if I'm drinking one, it's a Diet Dr. Pepper. It's just so good. I'm tired and I'm not talking fast, so hold on. Nice and cool. And let's talk about that refrigerator. You should have a clean refrigerator coil during the home inspection. Now, this is primarily for refrigerators that are built into the wall. For those of you who have refrigerators that you just kind of slide in and out, don't worry about it. But if you do have a refrigerator that's built into the wall, it will convey with the property because it's considered a fixture. So check to see if that refrigerator coil is clean. So if you don't know what that is, you probably have a problem because you haven't cleaned it, and it will come up in a home inspection report. And if it's dirty, it puts undue pressure and it burdens the system because it's just not cleaned out. So they'll clean it out. And the other thing, for those people who have those refrigerator, beverage, water dispensers, more than likely that stupid thing's not ever working. And if you ever go buy another refrigerator, do not buy that feature. The water tastes like crap anyway, and those things always break. Your buyer will want that repaired. So if you have a standalone that moves in and out, don't worry about it. You can choose to either convey or not convey the refrigerator. But if it's actually affixed to the wall and it's a built-in, your buyer will want these things remedied. Since we're in the kitchen, let's talk about that cooktop. Okay. If you have 6 burners, all 6 burners should be working. If 4 out of the 6 burners are working, you don't tell your buyer, oh, you don't need all 6 anyway. You know, we only use 4. You'll be fine. Okay. Your buyer's going to expect those burners to be working, and the knobs that turn on the burners should be in place. I can't tell you how many times I go to someone's house and the knobs are just missing, or they're all different, types of knobs. Like they should all match and all the burners should turn on. All right, folks, that garbage disposal is nasty. Go look underneath your sink in the kitchen and see if it's leaking or having weird fungus or weird smells. If it looks grody and it looks nasty, replace it. Your buyers care about it, and it will fail an inspection if you don't have it running properly. Right now, my garbage disposal ain't working too good. And I know, because it smells bad and it makes really bad noises and it looks really grody. So that's on the list of things to do this week. GFCI switches, okay? You need to have them throughout your house near all water sources. If you don't, the home inspector will call it out. And for those of you who want extra bonus points, call an electrician out and have those placed. They're not that expensive. But during that home inspection, that home inspector will make sure you're scared to death, or your buyer's scared to death, if you don't have those in the proper locations. Something else that comes up consistently is your home inspector will call out all the inoperable light bulbs. Your buyers hate the word inoperable. They're like, oh my goodness. Oh, is there something electrically wrong with the house? There's one light bulb out. Like, they're that finicky right now. So make sure you go around your house and replace all of your light bulbs that are not functioning properly, and preferably all with the same color. My favorite is that soft white. Please do not do any bright, like daylight light bulbs. It looks bad. That's for another video. Your home inspector will check every side gate, every front door, every cabinet in your kitchen, every drawer and every bathroom, every handle and every door. It will be inspected. So if you know of some items in your house that aren't functioning properly, I promise you they will come up in a home inspection report. Better to get ahead of it. And here we go. Here's in my little bag of tricks. WD-40 does wonders. Love this stuff. Always have it on hand. Go around, check your doors, check your drawers, check it all because it's going to be inspected. Your stair railings. I don't know why those things are wobbly. If they're wobbly, you need to repair them. And for some of you, since you're already looking at those things, make sure they're not grimy. For some reason, that stair railing is always really grimy. No, the griminess won't come up on the home inspection, but the instability will. So focus on both of them since you're there. Rarely is the fire damper clip in place in any home inspection I've ever been on. Even when I do these videos, my clients don't listen to me. So go fix that because your home inspector will freak out your buyer if it's not in place. It's an easy fix, very inexpensive to do, and your buyer will care about it. I should have put this in the HVAC system category, but your filters should be all white and clean during the home inspection. Now, and some of you have reached out going, oh, I get the dark brown ones and the black ones. No, they don't come in that color. White. Just get white filters. Put them in place, replace them. Thank you. Bathroom grout, kitchen grout, anywhere there's grout, you need to make sure the cracks are filled in because your home inspector will say that it's an issue because for water intrusion purposes, it could cause some damage in the future. So a lot of you will argue with me and say, oh, that's just a cosmetic thing. Not according to your home inspector. It's a super easy fix. I don't even care if you put some cheap stuff in there. Just make sure it passes an inspection. I do care if it's cheap, but you know what I'm saying. Just fill in the gaps, okay? Makes everybody happy. Your shower diverter, you know, little guy that you pull up on the nozzle and the shower comes out from the bathtub, you know, for some reason, none of those are functioning properly. So over the years, they corrode. It's a relatively easy fix. If you need a plumber to come out or handyman, it's usually a relatively quick fix. But for some reason, these buyers are like, oh my God, the shower's not working. You just know this is a little bit of stuff coming out the nozzle. They don't love it. So get that shower diverter fixed. The kitchen air gap for the dishwasher isn't located on your kitchen counter. So I admittedly don't have it in my house because I think it looks ugly, but it will come up in a home inspection and it's really meant to help like so that the dirty water doesn't flow back into the dishwasher. I don't know. It's an important thing. I don't really love it. There's other ways around it, but do realize if you don't have that in place, it will come up in a home inspection. And I'm going slow. Okay, hold on. Beverage refrigerators, okay? A lot of those look really pretty, but I don't know what it is. None of them work. So I'd rather you just throw it away because if it's not operational in the time of the inspection, your buyer will ask for a replacement. And a lot of you are like, no, it's really expensive. Great, then just take it out or replace it with a used one or a new one. But go check your beverage refrigerators. If they're not working, your buyers are going to ask for a replacement or a hefty credit. Okay, this one comes up a lot. Your toilets aren't secured properly to the floor. So they move around and they slip. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. What are you guys doing on those toilets? But needless to say, make sure those toilets are secured properly. And since you're in the bathroom, go check around at all the faucet fixtures. Sometimes those handles are loose or the faucets are loose. Make sure those are pretty locked down and aren't moving around or shifting. A lot of you have fire sprinklers in your home and the little cover plates are hanging down. It's expensive to replace. A lot of these homeowners, now that we've had so many fires, are calling out fire sprinkler inspectors that come out and will give a quote, and they're expensive to replace. So if you do have sprinklers in your home, I would have somebody come out to make sure they're all functioning properly. And no, they don't test them. They just make sure that they're in the right place and that the alarm systems are going out properly. It will help with insurance purposes as well. Termite report. I require all my sellers to get that ahead of time. Now, some of you don't have termites in your area, but we do call that report a living organism report. So a inspector comes to the property, they're looking for bees, they're looking for rats, they're looking for mold, they're looking for dry rot, they're looking for termites. So I highly suggest if you're selling your home that you do get a living organisms report before you put it on the market. Typically, they will give you a cost for remedy. You can decide to do it ahead of time or you can negotiate that in your offer. but it is something that you want to know before you put your house on the market. There are a lot of issues that happen in that attic, including termites and them dropping them wings. Oh my God, I hate that when that happens. If you have any termites and evidence and there's wings in that attic, they will be an immediate tent. And the reason for that is once they drop their wings, they've laid their eggs and now they don't know which areas to treat. So that's a bummer if you have wings in your attic, but other things happen in your attic like broken truss. Oh my goodness. I've had a lot of that come up on some of my home inspections. It spooks the buyer. They think the house is collapsing. There's a lot of things you can do to support broken truss. There's this thing called the sister method, for example, but you want to get ahead of that. So it might be a good idea to have somebody come in, look up in that attic to see what other things are going on there, because what you don't know, you don't know. And by the way, the home inspector will be checking your insulation up in that attic. If you have any rodent activity or anything that's happened up there, it will be addressed. So you might want to go hop up in that attic, look at that insulation as well. You don't believe how many repair requests I'm having right now because the insulation and the things that are going on and that stinking attic. Thank God there's no dead people. Your roof gutter should be cleaned out, and any trees that are hanging over the property or your neighbor's tree that's, hanging over your property, the home inspector is going to recommend that you trim that down because their concern is that the rodents or whatever are going to jump on the trees and on your house, yada, yada, yada. So when you're looking at your home, make sure all the debris and all the trees are cut back from your home. Check your fence line. So in my area, it's very customary for the neighbors to share the burden of any repairs for the fences. So check it out. If it's falling over, get a quote for how much it's going to cost to repair that. If there's some minor fixes, then fix it. But these are things that your buyers are really paying close attention to because in the long run, it is a very costly expense. The child safety mechanism for your garage needs to be operating properly. So if a child were to walk underneath the garage as it's coming down, it will immediately retract. Really important. That comes up a lot. Sometimes it's just a minor adjustment, but make sure it's working properly. The door from your house into the garage needs to be a fire-rated door. And if you put a little doggy door in that door, it's no good. A lot of you have taken the safety mechanism, meaning that door should automatically close when you walk through it. Now, a lot of us have taken off that automatic closing mechanism because we have groceries and we don't want to constantly have the door kicking us in the butt. So if you're selling your home, you might want to go find that automatic closer mechanism because it will show up on a home inspection. This comes up on just about every home inspection, and that is the soil is too high up on the house, and it's called the weep screed. So we highly suggest that you move the soil away from the weep screed. And if you don't know what that is, you can just Google it, but it will come up on a home inspection report. It sounds real technical. It creates moisture intrusion into the house, and buyers don't love that. Some of you have radon issues in your area. In my area, we don't, but if you know it could potentially be a problem, you may want to have it tested beforehand. Now, there are a lot of things that won't come up on a home inspection report that your buyers will care about. So I'll give you a few. So the home inspector is either checking to see if components are working or if they're not working. So they're not going to go, talk about the condition of the floors. Are there scratches on it? Are the walls that got smudge marks on it? They're not going to give you any cosmetic feedback in the report. They also won't check the sprinkler systems. They won't check the garden lights. They won't check whether or not the barbecue or the fire pit's working. They won't check to see if the fountain's working. However, if a buyer is buying a home, they will care about that, and they will expect you as the homeowner to provide proof that it is operational. Now, what I will do for you is I will link all the things we talked about. And there's a few other ones I haven't spoke about in this video because it's taking so long. But you can download this. I'll put the resource link down below. I will also put in the back here things that don't come up on a home inspection that your buyers will care about. All right, folks, I know that was a long one, but it's getting really difficult out there. The market's kind of cooling a little bit, and your buyers want to have a clean home inspection. And the cleaner your home inspection, the better. Now, you go check out the comments down below. I know a lot of my viewers have watched previous videos on some of my home inspection videos and are like, we're so glad we listened to you because we had a clean inspection and everything went according to plan. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. My name is Audra Lambert. I am one of the top producing agents in Orange County, California. If you have interest in buying or selling a home in Orange County, California, I'm your girl. And of course, you're going to help me get to 100,000 subscribers by smashing that like button and subscribing to my channel. Have a wonderful day. Good luck on the sale of your home. I know this is a lot of work, but it will pay off. All right, great day. I'll see you in the next video.